There was a time when this graceful, delicate girl dreamt of becoming a doctor or policewoman, but then chose a sporting path, literally and figuratively speaking. That's because Alina takes part in race walking. Now the athlete dreams of medals in the World Championship and, of course, the Olympic Games. Although not so long ago, Alina had doubts that she could reach the podium of the European Championship. The silver medal, won by Alina in August 2018 in Berlin in the 50-kilometer race walk, gave her extra confidence. Our program's guest, Alina Tsviliy, will tell us how she reached the last few meters of the silver medal finish, the nuances of race walking, and about her favorite coach and family. Star sign: Virgo. Eyes color: blue. Favorite color: pink. Favorite flower: rose. Favorite animal: tiger, lioness. Alina Tsviliy, maiden surname Halchenko, was born in the town of Boyarka, Kyiv region. She particularly liked running and physical education lessons, and not every boy was able to outrun this short, thin girl. I started running when I was a student in the 5th grade. I liked it very much and always showed the best results among my classmates. Teachers noticed Alina's talent and suggested to her that she get involved in professional sport. When she was 14, she was invited to study at the sporting lyceum. I was told, join our lyceum, we will walk. I found it very strange. How? I did not know what I would do. I came to the lyceum with my coach and she started to show me race walking, and I got interested in it. I thought that it was even easier than running, so I have been involved in race walking since that time. It was not so easy to switch from running to race walking. When engaging in these two athletic disciplines, an athlete uses different muscles groups. That's why the legs of young athletes were in constant pain. Having had a master class in race walking from Alina, the author of this program confirmed from personal experience how difficult race walking was, because the athlete has to stay on the heel and not on the toe, which is so familiar to all. You need to put your left leg in the correct position and put your right leg forward. Step on the heel, your left leg must be straight. You shouldn't bend your knees in any case, because it will be regarded as a violation of the rules. This leg is in the correct position, and this one stands on the toe. The same thing with the left leg. We bend the leg a little bit, bring it forward, stay on the heel, roll it over. Alina found race walking to her liking, and she soon started to show good results. When Alina was 16, she became champion of Ukraine in the 5,000 meters race walk and won the right to perform at the Youth Olympic Games in Singapore in 2010. Then Alina walked almost the entire distance and had just a few hundred meters left to finish. She had an unpleasant experience. One lap before the finish, when Alina was 40 meters ahead of the athlete, who came second, and with 400 meters left to the finish, she stopped, lost consciousness, and couldn't complete the last 200 meters. I was ahead of the other athletes, but I got sunstroke and fell. Despite that, I got up and got to the finish. I don't remember how I reached the finishing line, but I remember how I was taken by stretchers and revived back to consciousness. One good thing is that I got to the finish and earned 6th place. If I hadn't got to the finish, it would have been very bad. I remember how I returned to consciousness and the coach began swearing at me. I was quite young and inexperienced at the time. It was very hot in Singapore, and I did not have a cap. It was very humid. It was a real shame that the start was bad. Alina's coach, Anatoly Solomin, who has been working with her for 8 years now, knows the bitterness of defeat. The Olympic medal for the 20-kilometer race walk at the Olympic Games in Moscow in 1980 was almost in his pocket. I led for the entire distance from the start to the stadium entrance. But Mexican athlete Daniel Bautista, the 1976 Olympic champion, and I were disqualified for violating competition rules, because race walking includes 2 rules: the vertical phase and the flight phase. The opinion of the judges was subjective. 8 judges stood along the entire race. They noticed that he violated 3 rules, and the Mexican athlete was disqualified before me, and I was disqualified at the stadium entrance. As a result, Italian athlete Maurizio da Milano won the competition.
А меня уже на входе в стадион. И в итоге победил итальянский спортсмен Маурицио да Милано.
One of the judges who had a hand in the disqualification of Anatoly Solomin was fellow countryman Mykola Smaha. In the event of Solomin winning, his coach would have automatically received the title of honorary coach of the USSR, on which Smaha himself had set his sights. He was not only the judge, but also head coach of the Ukrainian national team. The ambitious judge died 6 months after the Moscow Olympic Games, and Solomin never became Olympic champion, but he hopes to fulfill his Olympic dream together with his student. We'd like to not only participate in the Olympic Games, but to also win medals, because the Ukrainian national team for race walking has not been to the podium at the Olympic Games for many years. Sporting dream. I not only want to participate in the Olympic Games, but also to get close to the top 6 or even top 3 athletes. It would be really good. Life dream. I want to buy a car. Love. Love for my family, husband and daughter. When Alina was 18, it was love that pushed sport to the sidelines. She got married, gave birth to daughter Luda, and dropped out of race walking for 2 years. Alina and I have lived together in only one house. She caught my eye when she was 17. We met in a park, took a stroll together, and began to date. I've known my husband since childhood. My husband Vova and my brother were friends. One day I went for a walk and met Vova. After this meeting, we started calling each other. It was the beginning of our love affair. And so the number of race-walking fans increased by 1 person. Volodymyr is proud of his wife. But for 5 years of marriage, he did not yet understand how she managed to cover such long distances. I can't imagine how she can walk such long distances. Look at my small and delicate wife. She can walk 50 kilometers. In my understanding, it's very difficult. I find it difficult to walk 5 kilometers, so I can't even imagine how to walk 50. She's my pride. I'm proud that I have such a wife. He understands and supports me. He simply saw what I was doing before, so I told him that when my maternity leave finishes, I would continue my involvement in sport. Volodya and Alina try to devote their free time to their 5-year-old daughter Luda. She, just like her mother in her time, also dreams of becoming a doctor, although she has all the makings of a future athlete. But now they await their beloved mother from competition and miss her culinary masterpieces. Perhaps it sounds trite, but she cooks very tasty borscht, cabbage rolls and salads. She's a good cook. Alina also likes sweets a lot. She likes Kiev cake and candies. After walking 50 kilometers, she ate only sweets for 2 days. Favorite dish? Borscht. I can cook. Baked chicken with apples and rice. Favorite drink? Juice. It was very difficult for Alina to return to sport after a 2-year break, but she missed race walking so much that she got back to full form very quickly. Alina gradually increased the distances she walked: 20 kilometers, 35 kilometers. In 2016, the 50-kilometer women's race walk was introduced. At first, walking such a distance seemed something impossible for Alina. It was scary because I saw some of our guys who'd walked the 50-kilometer distance. They were very tired. It was very difficult for them to reach the finishing line and to walk the whole distance. And a few of them, particularly foreigners, fell out of the race or could barely reach the finish. I was afraid, but then my coach convinced me and I started to walk the distance. The first time Alina covered the 50-kilometer distance at the World Team Championship in the Chinese city of Taikan in May 2018, having finished the 15th place. The Ukrainian national team won the bronze medal. After the finish, I said that I would never walk the 50-kilometer distance. But my friend Christina said, "What? You won't walk? You've already qualified for the competition in Berlin. Willing or not, you must take part in it." And Alina did take part in the competition. She even led at the 34th kilometer mark, but she could not compete with the reigning world champion, Portuguese Inês Henriques. The Ukrainian athlete reached the finish 3 minutes and 23 seconds later than the Portuguese, but not later than the other athletes. Tsviliy won not only a silver medal, but she also set up a new Ukrainian record for race walking. There was a big-time gap between first and third place. I did not see the Portuguese athlete or the Hispanic athlete who was behind me. So I knew that I would finish second, and I was very happy. The competition was broadcast live. That's why I thought that a lot of people saw me and knew me, so I had to finish second in any case. I asked her to start slowly because it was very hot. The most dangerous thing on a long distance is to start quickly. In this case, an athlete may be unable to reach the finish. She followed all my advice and walked the whole distance. Alina already improved her result in the 6th minute. I would say that she won 3 kilometers from herself. I think that she's always had huge potential. For me, it was a feeling of great pride. At that time, I was at work and someone called me and said that my wife had won 2nd place. I was so happy that people thought that she had given birth to a child. No, it is better, I said. She's got 2nd place at the European Championship. Even Alina couldn't imagine that she would become vice-champion of the continent. She planned to get into the top 6 or 4, but her coach genuinely believed in her. Her child was sick, and then she got sick. But 3 months ago, we managed to overcome this problem. She kept healthy for 3 months. Thanks to that, Alina performed a huge amount of work because she has motivation, her family and small daughter. It's the biggest motivation for her.
И маленькая дочка. Для нее это вообще огромнейший стимул. Накануне мы выезжали 2 раза на сборы. Среднегорье называется, да, последний сбор.
On the eve of the competition, we went to a training camp in Turkey on 2 occasions. And I told her that taking into account our training, we could cover the distance in 4 hours 10 minutes. She did not believe it, but it turned out that she showed almost the same result, and it enabled Alina to finish second.
Сложилось, что в принципе она этот результат показала, и он ей позволил быть второй.
Anatoly Solomin is not only a coach for Alina, he is also a close person for her. She feels his care and support and values it. He's not a strict person. Quite the opposite, he's very good. Anatoly treats me like his own daughter. He worries about me, calls me and asks whether I ran in the evening, whether I had a massage or went to a sauna.
На массаже была, в сауну ходила, переживаю точно. Однако, когда мы ездим на сборы, то я беру с собой дочку.
When we got to a training camp, I always take my daughter with me. And when I'm out training, he spends his time with her. They've already gotten used to each other. Favorite season? Summer. Like reading. Novels, melodramas. Hobby: roller skating. In real life, Alina Tsviliy does not like to walk quickly. She walks slowly. She's 23, but 10 years of a sport career are already behind her. Everything happened during this period: fatigue, injuries, and the wish to retire from the sport. But high results and awards have helped her to believe in herself. So Alina still has her main goal, a gold medal, the power and wish to achieve it. And the main thing is infinite devotion to her favorite kind of sport. Let's hope that Alina Tsviliy will make us happy with her success and achievements. I'm very fond of sport. It gives me health. I cannot even convey my emotions. Sport is my life. I like it.